Ghosts, phantoms, spirits trapped between the land of the living and the afterlife. Many people question what happens after we die and whether or not paranormal entities exist. Being rather skeptical myself, my journey into the paranormal begins in the town of Canyon City, Colorado. Here, the employees of the Museum of Colorado Prisons told me the history, as well as shared their stories of paranormal encounters.
The prison next door, which is called Territorial, has been active since 1871. So before Colorado was even a state, there was a prison. So that's why we call it Territorial, because it started off as a federal territorial facility. The building that we're sitting in right now was the first women's facility built outside the walls from the men. Not that we didn't have women inmates before 1935. The women were just incarcerated next door with the men. The whole facility is interesting, honestly. We've got everything from the last gas chamber that was used for the state of Colorado, the last hanged man's noose. We actually have that on display. We have got so much art. It's overwhelming sometimes. And this is not all of it. We've got more in storage. I didn't believe in ghosts whatsoever until I worked here.
Until you worked here, okay.
I'm still a skeptic. I still try and find a reasonable explanation for what I've heard or smelled. I mean, I really haven't seen anything. It's not like I've seen an apparition or somebody standing there. But I have heard many things. It usually happens at night. You know, after the sun is starting to get dark, I'll hear whistling, and I know I'm the only person here in this museum. Me personally would probably be the footprints. So it looks like somebody, most likely a woman, because they were small feet, but bare feet. It looked like they had walked through like dirty water and were kind of muddy, but you couldn't sweep them up or mop them up. They were like embedded into the linoleum.
Stacy doesn't really want anything to do with the paranormal. I am all for it. I am here for it. I do a group with a lady that works next door, and I also participate with Ghost Hunts USA. And let me tell you, I've had some experiences. So I have an attachment. His name is Walter. You can read about him out in the gas chamber. His name is Walter Hamill. Not a good guy, but seems to be a friendly spirit, so we just roll with it. I've seen apparitions, I've seen shadow people, footprints appear out of nowhere. Tower 6, the tower up here. So the night, Stacy forgot to lock the back door and our gate was left open. So they came in and did a search, and the gate up front was closed. In Tower 6 saw a woman in a floral dress standing upstairs.
There was one evening we were supposed to have a movie on the wall, so we were here late that night and a thunderstorm came in. So everybody's running around outside trying to bring all the equipment in, and I was up front and the lights went out and 2 packs of playing cards flew across the floor.
I generally think of myself as kind of a skeptic believer. So a lot of the stuff that I have experienced, I try to explain in a way, but there is a lot of stuff that's happened that really I can't explain. The main thing that I have happened to me is like smells and like sound stuff. Like I hear tapping a lot in keys. And the one smell that I smell a lot is like cigarette smoke and perfume.
So in the 60s, nobody would sleep in that cell. Nobody. So evidently somebody had passed away in there, but I can't find out who. It definitely wasn't a murder or anything like that. It wasn't an assault. Evidently died from natural causes. But people on either side of that cell could hear somebody crying in there. And so they tried to put people in there, but then they just kept the cell empty. I'm not joking. So fast forward over the years, different paranormal groups have come through, and they too have found, from what they say, something going on in that cell. I just don't know why.
I have heard that is probably the most haunted cell. However, the only experience I have had with that is we had a specific ball that was left down here. It was like a football shape, and it lit up, and I could hear a crinkle in that cell. And it was like they'd had it, like, you want a ball, here's your ball. And that ball almost skidded my head, came out of that cell, lit up, and almost skidded my coworker's head.
I haven't gone in there yet, but I know me and my other coworker Roxanne, we both kind of get similar energy from it. We're just like, it's not the best place. And then also the one isolation cell that we have up there, the little Siberia cell, that's another one that I don't like to look at when I'm going down the hallway.
You know, if they're skeptical, I invite them to come find their own experiences. I'm not here to change their mind, but you know, I am here to say these spirits are definitely here. I've had my experiences.
I tell them about what I've experienced.
Everybody believes what they want to believe, and you can't really, convince somebody otherwise, because if somebody says, no, it's not real, that's what their belief is going to be, and it's going to stay that way.
A lot of people, my dad still doesn't, and I can still hear my mom talking to me at home, and she passed away, and my dad doesn't believe in it, but it's like, there's really nothing you can do to make anybody believe unless they experience it themselves.
Everybody's different when it comes to the paranormal world, and some people just don't want anything to do with it, and that is perfectly okay too. It's not for everybody.
We may never know the true nature of the paranormal or what happens to us when we die. Although these questions remain unanswered, it is still a fascinating subject that I and many others will continue to pursue.